Once upon a time, Meghan Markle's life seemed like a cool Hollywood movie. A girl from California went from being an actress to a fancy duchess, joining an old royal world with style, big dreams, and everyone watching her every step. But fairy tales don't stick around forever, and some fall apart quicker than you'd think. I was such a fake. What started as a happy story has turned into a warning. Be careful what you run after, because it might show all the stuff you were trying to keep secret. The change didn't happen all at once. At first, Meghan had everyone excited. She brought a new vibe to the royal family, a fresh face, an American style, and a charm that seemed unstoppable. But behind the shiny photos and magazine covers, problems were growing. The issue? Meghan wasn't just trying to update the royal world. She wanted to make it all about her style. The palace didn't like that. Critics like Piers and Tom Bower didn't just disagree with Meghan, they went after her hard. To them, Meghan wasn't just confused, she was super sneaky. Nobody tried to ruin you. You messed things up yourself in this country with your silly, fake actions. Honestly, what she said is total nonsense. One day she was waving from the palace balcony, the next she was on Netflix talking about how tough that life was. Then came her podcast, a kid's book, a skincare line, and jam jars. Suddenly the Duchess was a brand, but not a cool one. It felt kind of empty. Her lifestyle brand, hyped as a new kind of royal charm, started with pricey oils and fruit jams. Yup, jam. People noticed. The same woman who stood next to the Queen was now posting about mason jars on Instagram like a new influencer. Some thought it was funny, others thought it was embarrassing. The British public, known for being super honest, didn't hold back. They saw it as a big step down. One newspaper joked, Meghan went from duchess to online seller in fancy pearls. Tom Bower, always a pain for Meghan, said it clearly. She's a one-trick pony who used the royal name and then tossed it away. I think Diana, well, we all know. Diana would be shocked that we're talking about her son as a total liar. It wasn't just mean. It hurt because it felt true to a lot of people. Inside the palace, people felt relieved. Staff who used to be super careful said the stress lifted after Meghan and Harry left. Royal events felt less like a show and more like real duties again. That's the difference. Meghan wanted the royal title, but not the old school rules. The fame, but not the boring stuff. Piers didn't hold back either. He said Meghan built her image on acting like a victim, always saying she was treated badly while making money from that story. It's one long list of their complaints and self-praise nonsense. Harry and Meghan sold their royal selves to be reality TV stars. She doesn't want privacy, he said. She wants control. That idea stuck. Her Spotify deal, all hyped up, flopped. Archetypes, her podcast, sounded more like her talking about herself than a real chat. And just like that, Spotify dropped her. No bad vibes, just tough business. The warning signs kept coming. Meghan's habit of always being the star started annoying people. There were stories of her fighting with royal staff, controlling a Vogue photo shoot, and being too bossy in team projects. Her image went from misunderstood princess to a PR-obsessed diva. Meanwhile, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, didn't need to say anything. She just did her job, and her quiet strength spoke for itself. Meghan's critics didn't even have to try. The difference was obvious. One side got headlines with grace, the other begged for them. The big change came when even Hollywood started pulling away. For someone who dreamed of red carpets and cool friends, it must have hurt. Meghan worked hard to stay in the spotlight, but the people who used to cheer for her were quietly stepping back. It wasn't loud or dramatic, just a slow fade. Invites stopped coming. Big stars who once liked her projects now stayed away. In a town where image is everything, the Sussex brand became tricky. It didn't help that every project after leaving the royals felt like a flop. The Netflix documentary, sold as a real peek into their lives, felt too polished and kind of empty. Instead of drawing people in, it pushed them away. There were tears, sure, but also questions. Fact-checkers pointed out issues, critics called it fake, and viewers felt tricked instead of inspired. Then came Archetypes, her podcast. The idea sounded cool, talking about women's stereotypes through Meghan's view. But listeners soon saw the show wasn't about the guests. It was about Meghan. Every topic turned back to her struggles, her feelings, her life. Even when strong women came on, their voices got lost in Meghan's carefully planned story. When Spotify ended it after one season, it wasn't a surprise. It was a relief. Behind the shiny launches and big headlines, the flaws in Meghan's plans were clear. Each new project felt like the same old story. Royal runaway turned freedom fighter, woman of color silenced by a mean system, victim of press cruelty, misunderstood star. The problem? People got tired of hearing it. The emotional pull that once got sympathy now felt like a repeat. And sympathy, like fame, doesn't last forever. Back in Britain, the royal family was doing fine without her. King Charles focused on his legacy. Prince William took on more work with calm, and Catherine, ignoring the drama, kept growing as a global favorite. They weren't selling products or starting brands. They were just doing their jobs. That difference hurt Meghan the most. While she posed with jam jars and shared moody photos to sell face oil, Catherine made headlines just by being there. No PR tricks needed. Her power wasn't about being loud. It was about being real. When she skipped Royal Ascot this year, the media still talked about her. Meghan, though, had to stir up drama or use cameras to stay in the conversation. Without them, she faded. Then there's Thomas Markle, her dad, who raised her alone for years. He had a stroke and hasn't heard from her since. The guy who worked on movie sets so she could chase her dreams is now ignored, forgotten by the daughter he gave so much for. To critics, it added another piece to the puzzle. A woman who talks about kindness but cuts off those closest to her. Inside the palace, it said Queen Elizabeth didn't want Meghan at Prince Philip's funeral. Not for drama, but because she knew Meghan would steal the spotlight, even at a funeral. It would have been about her. That's what royal insiders worried about most. Not fights, but distraction. In a world built on being steady, that's the worst kind of betrayal. At the core, Meghan's biggest problem might be herself. Not the media, not the palace, not even the royal rules she said she hated. It's the pattern. Announce something huge, get attention, then fail to follow through. Her kid's book, her production company's big plans, rumors of another memoir, it's always the same. Big starts, quiet endings, hype with no results. That trick might have worked once or twice, but over time, people notice what lasts. Not Instagram posts, not flashy PR launches, just what you actually do. For Meghan, those results haven't been great. Critics aren't calling her out just to be mean. They see a trail of half-finished projects and weird choices. She's not getting flack for being brave. She's being questioned for being empty. Even fans who used to stand by her are backing off. Some say they're tired. Others say they're seeing things clearly now. The endless drama, the victim stories, the big interviews where Meghan always seems close to crying. It's all blending together. At some point, people stopped feeling for her. They started rolling their eyes. In the middle of this is Prince Harry, once the fun, loved royal rebel. Now he looks like a guy stuck watching his own life go by. His old friends have pulled away, UK allies are quiet, and even his solo appearances feel forced, like a man caught between two worlds and not fitting in either. His once easy charm is hidden under fake PR smiles. Meanwhile, the Sussex empire they built is slipping. It's not crashing in a big explosion, but slowly fading away. In Hollywood, the phones stopped ringing as much. In Britain, the news about them has cooled off. The power couple story has turned into a sadder one. Two people chasing a spotlight that doesn't want them anymore. Meghan's latest project, her Aver lifestyle brand, with its fancy words and overpriced stuff, feels like a last try to stay in the game. But there's nothing fresh here, just recycled vibes, pretty quotes, and lots of influencer fluff. Critics have laughed at it, calling it a self-obsessed project pretending to be a business. The sales so far, not looking good. But it's not just about products. It's about meaning. Meghan left the royals for freedom, control, and a new life. But somewhere along the way, that freedom turned into being alone. Not just from the palace, but from reality. From the people who once cheered her, from the image she tried to build. The irony is almost poetic. She left one of the biggest stages in the world saying she wanted peace, privacy, a new start. But she didn't write that new start. She just made a new cover and hoped people would keep reading. Now, with every failed project and fading headline, it's clear. She's not leading a big movement. She's holding onto scraps of an old one. What's left is a woman with a royal past, a broken public image, and a growing sense the world has moved on. The palace, the media, even her peers don't circle around her anymore. She chased huge fame, but is stuck in a loop of getting less and less. It's not a tragedy or even a big drama anymore. It's a slow, awkward fade. Meghan Markle wanted to be a superstar, but superstars don't chase approval, they earn it.